Hello and welcome to Going 19, episode 11. Today we are covering part 4 of Stephen King's 11/22/63, Sadie and the General, chapters 14 to 17. I am Ed, with me are Kirsten and Amber. Let's start the show. Sadie and the General. Part 4, what are we doing? Chapters 14 to 17? And half of it was chapter 14, by the way, and the rest was squeezed in the last 40 pages.
I didn't even pay attention to
that. So Sadie and the General, I have to say, so far the General has not made an appearance, so I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I was about to ask, wait, who's the General?
I think it's General Walker.
Yeah.
Oh.
They mention him, but he doesn't actually.
Well, I had to stop the audiobook because I was I'm ahead of this in the audiobook, and I was starting to get confused on where we stopped and what I know and what I don't know. So, late after chapter 17, we start doing some general stuff. I know that, but
well, because he's referencing him in the part that we did read. He just hasn't actually met him, or he hasn't been actively involved yet.
He compares Coach Borman to Baby Huey. That's not very flattering. I can't tell if he likes Coach Borman or not.
I can't either.
The impression I got was that he doesn't like him at first, but I think Coach
he grows on him.
I think the coach also kind of changes a little bit. I mean, it's so as much as you can for a small town guy, but because when he goes back to visit towards the end, I can't remember exactly what he says, but the coach says something I wish you would come back.
Yeah.
He said something that made me like him more. Was that this chapter?
Oh yeah, no, that was
this one.
I think he thinks the coach is. I think he's judging him based on the stereotype that the coach is.
Yeah.
He expected him to be don't take my football player to go act. That would be stupid. But he didn't do it. He's expecting.
But in many ways, the coach does embody what you typically would think of.
I mean,
so
he is still
fair,
a football coach.
That's what I'm saying. So, to be fair, some of
I do think. I think that's a good another good statement about life, though. Sometimes it's what you expect, and sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
I was disappointed. I kind of wanted to see how the 12 Angry Men played out.
12 angry persons or whatever.
Yeah, 12 angry people, so he could put some chicks in there.
Yeah.
Which I never really thought about. When did that?
I don't know that story at all.
I had to read it in middle school.
They want to convict the guy being guilty, and there's one juror holding out to the whole movie's about him turning the other 11 people around, or the play, whatever, how you put it.
It's actually interesting.
Oh yeah, the dynamics of how it happens are awesome. Like I said, I wanted to see how that would play out, because everyone talks about how awesome Mike Koslaw is at acting.
Is it Koslaw or is it Coleslaw?
I just call him Coleslaw.
So do I. That's how I said it in my head.
I'm sure that's what his friends would be calling him anyway. Hey, Coleslaw.
Yeah.
And I think he did foreshadow it because he confused me at some point. Vince Knowles for juror number 8.
Yeah, he did the whole.
And then the next paragraph says the season will be dedicated to Vince Knowles, the boy who played George in Of Mice and Men, who would never get a chance to play 12 Angry Men.
Yeah. And you're oh, come on.
He does. There's two things I've been noticing, and maybe I'm just reading it more analytically than usual. He does a ton of foreshadowing in this book. Every 5 pages, but we'll talk about that later. Or I told him what I wanted, and then he doesn't tell you what it is. He's always sort of done that. In fact, if you ask him, one of his favorite things to say is a good book doesn't give away all its secrets at once, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That and the one-liners, things from childhood stick with us the longest. And what was the last one? We're never so angry as when we get caught, are we? Like, he's got a lot of them in this
I
book.
thought
There
that
was
was just him.
every
It's
man
not
has a
usually,
jealousy
I don't
bone.
think.
Yeah.
But
I remember one at the end where he's like, every man has a jealousy bone, and mine was tingling that day.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, what do you think? Like, I don't remember his other books being that.
I
having
think it's
that much-
definitely, it was kind of like something that I think there's definitely a lot more of it now. It's, in my opinion, it maybe used a little too much. Like, I get it. There are times where it's done really well, especially the foreshadowing, and you're like, if you don't pick up on it, but you read it again later, and you're like, oh, I could have seen that coming. Like, that was cool. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. When the orange card man, I think, became the black card man, and he was like blah blah blah. Oh no, it was the gym law, like the yellow card man, like the blah, blah. Like he explained it for like 2 pages. Like, no, you could have just stopped the gym law and let us like figure out
Connect the dots.
the rest.
But then times like with Vince Knowles, it's like, okay, I know Vince is not important to the story, so we're about to find out what happens to him. Like, what is the point of that?
The foreshadowing or the
foreshadowing, yeah. It just comes off as a little like, and I don't really think he means to do this, but like, I'm a writer and I've been doing this for a long time, so like, I think he's just throwing too many in there.
yeah.
There's a lot of like sort of side offshoot stories almost.
Oh yeah, well, I'm sure that's how his brain works.
Like sidebar stories, like, okay, this is Vince's story, this is Jim Law's story, this is Sadie's story. Like,
he doesn't have structure when he writes. He just puts the pen down and starts going, and wherever it takes him, it takes him. So sometimes you can tell, like, Vince, the whole Vince, Mike, Bobby Jill thing, I think just came to him while he was writing. Like, he didn't know.
Which that's fine, but you edit as a professional writer, so like if you notice that you're going like a little off the rails, can't you like
imagine what the original version was.
Right, can't you like adjust?
I think a part of it probably is also painting the picture of how much Jody, for the first time ever, it really seems like a home to him.
We'll get to that. He's very again ready to just say, I'm staying in the past. This place is cool.
He literally straight up says that. Was that this part or before?
He says,
he's like, I never want to go back. I'm like comfortable living in the 60s, the 50s and 60s. Like, what?
Yeah, we got it.
We'll get to that, and I think that's more Stephen King than Jake Epping saying that.
Right.
Jake's, what do we figure out? Like 35, and he wouldn't know anything about the 60s. Why would he be so goddamn comfortable with it? Like, anyway.
Why is he so comfortable leaving everything he ever knew behind? Like, that's not a normal thing.
Right. I think that's why they paint him as pretty much a loner. He's not leaving much behind, so it's easier for him to accept getting the hell out of there. I don't know, but he does. I was just reading a thing where he says, well, if I can't go back to teaching, what am I going to do? Lay concrete if I stay here? Like, well, yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I think you should go back to teaching, maybe not at Denholm Consolidated. Oh, I figured he mentioned something about the Consolidated. It was like 6 different counties. I guess they consolidated all their schools into one school or something. Because he's like 40 miles away, and he was like, this is one of the consolidated places or something.
I don't know. I don't think that he'd ever be able to go back to teaching, because even back then, there were certain expectations for teachers, and you have to have some sort of like history. You can't just like.
I mean, it's the 50s. You got a mail-in diploma, so.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't think he ever really thought his whole plan through, like whether or not he was going to try to stay there or come back to 2011 when he's done. Because now it seems like, I was just going to say, now it seems like he just wants to live there with Sadie forever.
Yeah, he definitely does. But he's like, because that's a lot, I feel like, in this part that we're talking about. A lot of it is him sort of toggling back and forth between, I just want to stay and live my life with Sadie, versus I can't forget the purpose of why I'm here in the first place.
Yeah. It was a little bit of a boring section, if I'm being honest, just because it's like mostly filler.
Mundane.
Yeah.
A little bit, but it's also starting to ramp up. Like they were getting Oswaldy, so all
Yeah.
that stuff's starting to come in.
Like
Yeah.
right towards the end.
I'm a big fan of Silent Mike. I think we've only met him once so far, right?
He's the like electronics guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just realized this at the bottom of 2.
Dude, what are you doing in the tubes?
I'm sorry, like the
Part 2. Okay.
part, yeah, like in 2 of 14, I guess I should say.
Page number.
354, bottom of 354.
Yeah, you're lined up again. So.
Sorry. He's like, "Are you Silent Mike?" I asked. Yep. But then at the end, doesn't he?
That subject, he was loquacious.
He said, yeah, he looked like Silent Mike.
But then he says the same thing about the guy at the end, doesn't he?
What guy?
The guy who's like filming the practice.
What does he say about him?
Doesn't he say that he looks like Silent Mike too? Or did I read that?
That's the only guy.
I don't remember. That's
No, they're
definitely
two
where he got
different
the idea
guys.
for the directional mic. Or
Wait,
whatever.
who was the only guy that I remember him saying was the guy at the end who was who had the new listening device that he wanted to
But that's a different guy than the guy he bought the lamps from, isn't it?
That's Silent Mike.
That's what I'm.
Yes.
That's what I'm
Two
saying.
different people.
Right.
But he said the guy looks like Silent Mike.
Correct.
There's two people.
Two people. At the beginning, where we're at right now, on the bottom of 354, he goes in to see him, and that's the guy he buys the 2 lamps from.
That's
everybody following so far. At the very end of the chapter, there's a guy on the field,
right,
on the football field, that's
got the device,
right, that has the device,
who looks like Silent Mike.
That's what I'm saying. So is he saying they both look like Silent Mike?
Who's both?
One is
lamp guy is Silent Mike.
That's like literally his name. I thought he was making a reference to like Silent Mike in real life. Oh no, it's Bob. Silent Bob.
I was like, well, who is Silent
Mike? I'm thinking of Silent Bob.
Are you talking about like fucking Clerks?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not referencing that.
That's what I thought at first. I was like, is he saying they both look like him? I got the names mixed up. That's my bad.
Silent Mike is way cooler. Silent Mike, Holy Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't wait. The part where he gets back in the car and he starts singing the songs, I was like, oh, that's the song he meant. Like, as soon as he said he thought the song was named after him, my brain went right to Silent Night, Holy Night. Like, how did he not get that right away?
Yeah, I know.
That was literally the first thing I thought. So I thought, Jake's a little stupid.
That's the theme.
Yeah, right.
Which I was gonna say, which we're about to get to at the end of this.
Jake, well, yeah, he's way stupid before we even get to that.
He's always dumb.
So yeah, he sticks Mike on the table lamps, and I didn't really understand the bugs. Like there was a part in the lamp, and then there was a part you had to put in the wall too. Is that?
Yeah.
So what did they move the lamp, and how did they not see the part that was in the wall?
So my understanding was that the part that goes into the wall hooks up to basically a tape recorder.
Right. Even though he's a cautious speaker.
Yeah, so he would have to. My understanding was that at some point he'd have to go back and take the tape out of the tape recorder to listen to what happened.
How did they not notice the thing sticking in the wall?
That's what I was thinking.
What if they moved the lamp?
That's exactly what I thought.
Well, that's why he said he wanted to get a grungy looking lamp so nobody wanted to touch it.
That was so nobody would steal it.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be either.
It could be, but I still what if I want it on the other side of the coffee table?
Right. Yeah, I felt like that was not a good idea myself, but
I mean, he hasn't put them in yet, has he? Or I can't. Oh, he did.
Yeah, at the end he does. In the last little bit.
Towards the end there.
He does go and put it in, but he doesn't. He says that he didn't hook it up to like the tape recorder part, which means that it's totally pointless. So I don't really.
Silent Mike's in Fort Worth, I guess, right? Because then he goes to
Yeah.
Neely Street. And I don't remember. Neely Street is where they live after Mercedes Street, I think. I'm not 100% sure what
Yeah, I
Neely
don't
Street was.
Yeah, I
remember.
haven't really been following all of
So he's
that.
up by there. So,
Mr. Doe.
Zaires or Mammoth Mart, I've never heard of either of them. So I guess they didn't make it to the. Oh, look. I pulled up in front of 2703, but I got a little formula there trying to get 19 out of that. So 7 times 5 in parentheses minus 2 will give you 19.
Wait, does it?
Wait,
Oh, wait.
7 times 3, sorry.
I forgot we're back in 2011. I was like, wait, it does equal 19?
Okay. Yeah, we are. Oh, yeah, this is after the body. So this is after the Dark Tower. So yeah, 360. I wrote a little like math formula. It was like 2 times 7 minus 3, 19.
Yeah.
Couldn't get 6 to work because he's at 27. Wait, they're at 2703. He's at 2706. I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think to look. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I mean, every number I see, I'm like, I like Rosette, although I'd smack her mouth if she was my kid. Ain't supposed to use your hands there, you old son bitch.
Right. Like,
You're 5, kid. Like, what?
calm down.
Although her mom was
Is
at
not having good language.
Ivy Templeton, Al's ex-wife. I made that up.
No,
Oh,
I know.
I
I
was
saw
like,
that
wait, what?
too. I thought that was weird that they had the same last name.
wasn't
Well, it's
weird.
obviously not a coincidence.
Yeah, harmonizes, and we'll get to that. I don't know if another hour is going to be enough time. Monkey Ward, is that Montgomery Ward, or is that something else completely? Because sometimes he says Montgomery Ward, sometimes he says Monkey Ward. Not Rosette. Ivy's husband was supposed to get a job at the Monkey Ward, but he didn't, and then he broke his back or whatever the hell happened. I like how he says $9 a day working with a bunch of people, and he says it's like being at West Texas Correctional again. I like the again part. Like, this isn't hubby's first trip to West Texas. God damn, I can't say that word. West Texas Correctional. Hey. And I ain't taking you in, so don't ask.
Oh my gosh, the way that they talk is driving me a little nuts.
Right, and he's like, "Did your house come with lamps?" He's like, "What?"
I mean, I would think somebody. I was like, I'm not answering any of your questions.
Yeah, first of all, who are you? Well, he did give her money.
I think that's the point. Yeah.
I was actually literally just gonna say that right when you said it. Like, this whole interaction, like, I understand she's obviously not very well educated and it's a different time, but I'd be like, you're weird, dude. Like, you need to
I also say it's a much less suspicious time than we live in.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a different time, so I'm trying to put my mind there. But like, regardless, if some random person came up to me and was like, "You got lamps in your house?" I'd be like, "No, we sit in the dark." Like, what?
Lights are in the ceiling in every room. I guess.
But that's such a weird, specific, random question to ask. I'd be like, "Can you leave?" Like, I have a daughter here.
Why? What do you want to know for?
I do think what you said that is right about the money. I think the money kind of will wash almost everything away. I mean, she's obviously suspicious, but she also needs that. So
she's very poor.
Yeah, she's like, I'd say hard up for whatever.
Very much so.
I mean, I'm sure she has prostituted.
I'll say like $250 by the time he's done with her.
Yeah.
His jackets and $5 here and $20 there and $200 for pay her rent and do something else.
That's what I'm saying. She didn't even have a winter jacket. Like, oh my god.
She didn't even have to roll him the fuck or nothing.
Yeah, her attitude kind of made me feel like, wow, what a wimp I am. Like, it just kind of obviously is not very happy about her life, but everything that happens, she just kind of rolls with it. She's like, yeah, it sucks, but what are you going to do? Got people to take care of.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
75 cents. I hate the way that they talk.
I was disgusted by her and disgusted with myself for daring to judge.
I loved that line. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, because that's what I always try to tell your uncle. Like, you can't compare then to now. Of course, the sensibilities now are different, and we like to think better, but
Even things
that
from
doesn't.
5-10 years ago were like, "Ooh, we shouldn't have done that."
Yeah, right. Yeah, I watched some like some Mel Brooks movies I grew up with. Like they're very racist jokes, like uncomfortable sometimes. But then you're like, well, Mel Brooks is Jewish, so he's allowed to do that, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that's how that works.
Well, I know if I did it, it would be a big problem. Another $5 bill. So yeah, we're up to $10. Sadie's note was weird. I was trying to figure that out without reading ahead to figure it out.
I had the same problem. I was like, read, skip ahead, read.
So I was like, it has something to do with her name. I didn't even think of Sadie Hawkins. Like I didn't. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Sadie, and that's the trouble. I was trying to figure out what the hell she meant by that without reading ahead to find out what she meant by that. But like, because is this a?
I didn't really read into that.
Because you know that the argument, the blow up's coming at some point. You can tell.
Mhm.
So I'm like, is this the blow up? Is it like what like is that what she meant by that? I was trying to figure that out, but it was.
I think he did a really well. We're not there yet, but I was gonna say that reminded me of when the blow up does happen because I was as distracted as he was, and I was like, "Wait, what is she upset about?"
I like how he said well, I was just kind of answering her questions, going through the motions, but I was really thinking about Oswald, and he was getting off a plane, like,
yeah.
and we're not there yet, but I have a lot of questions. Have I just been Sadie Hawkins by Sadie Dunhill? He says something about. They drew a picture of, there it is. The art department, small but dedicated, contributed a cartoon mural that showed the immortal Miss Hawkins herself. Wait, I didn't know that was an actual person. I thought it was just like a euphemism.
No, I knew it was a person.
Yeah, I just thought that it's,
I don't know how. Probably.
How is that a euphemism?
Well, it's just what they call the dance when the chicks ask the guys. Like
it sounds like a name.
Yeah, it's because.
But that doesn't necessarily mean
something
the person was a real
transpired.
person either. It could be based on something, but it doesn't mean it was an actual living. You know.
I understand. I just feel like a name makes a lot more sense than a euphemism.
Although born in Jody, Donald Bellinger was a permanent resident of Rockville in the state of Daddy Cool. I think he would get along. That's the DJ. I think he would get along with the beatnik rather well. Hey, Daddy-o. Belt in the back flat is what he's wearing. I tried to Amazon that, and they didn't know what I was talking about. First time that's ever happened. What's a belt in the black slacks? Does that mean it ties in the back?
What page are you on?
365, the second line from the bottom.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Specs with thick lenses, belt in the back slacks, and saddle shoes. I thought saddle shoes were for girls. Men wore them too?
Back? I don't know what that means, yeah.
Yeah, I Amazoned it, and they weren't real. There was actually a half belt that only covered the back, or I guess you didn't want a belt in the front, but yes, I guess they don't make belt in the back slacks anymore. Maybe that's a good thing.
To me, it could also be just like a phrase, like it means something. He's always doing that too.
Can you imagine all the research? He said this is the most like he usually doesn't research at all, but he said he had to do so much research for this book. Like, can you imagine all the research he did just to like figure out belt in the back slack and all that period stuff, not just the Oswald stuff, but all to have people talking the right way and not on my side. What?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
The Ivy Templeton says Sadie says not on my salary. A bottle of cold duck though we could do. Like, what the fuck is cold duck? Like, maybe some of it he's probably helped because he's old enough to remember it, and like we're not. But like, what is cold duck? Like, ew, that sounds awful. But just to know like the right things, products to use given the time, like that must have taken an immense amount of research.
Mm-hmm.
And just how they talk.
To know what words not to use too. That's what really would throw me off because I was like, that's not normal.
Definitely didn't figure that part out.
No.
That's what gets them in trouble.
I mean, I feel like I would be the same. I'm sure they don't talk. I mean, I know they don't talk the same way we do now because we're always inventing new words.
Right. Daddy cool. Far out, man.
Could you imagine if you said like on fleek or no cap?
On fleek.
Can you? And I got it. So I'm at the part, and he catches them drinking, and blah blah blah. And they're like, "Oh, we're never gonna do that again." I feel like that was bullshit, by the way. But
Obviously.
they were just like,
very like. Blah.
He takes it from Jake's perspective, like, haha, I made a difference with those kids. Like, I don't think he did. But, I've been
he
those
kind of
kids.
did,
And
apparently.
well, apparently he didn't, because Vince was drunk, right? Or was he?
Vince was drunk, but she's talking about with Jim Law.
Yeah.
Well, that was my
Jim.
other point. Like, I feel like I barely know Jim Law. He's barely in the book, yet his namesake is a big part of something, and I don't really know what.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like there
agree.
should have been more time spent on who this guy is.
Yeah, I agree. He's very mysterious.
Like, does he have? Are they just?
Especially for all the offshoots of the other random characters, and then like this pivotal phrase. It's like we have no idea who he is.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I was moving my stuff.
Ready?
Yeah.
I wish you could have seen his face.
Now I gotta edit that out. I don't have to. I'm probably not gonna, actually, because we were talking. But yeah, I just feel like like is Jim Ledoux and the Jim La like just have nothing to do with each other? I guess they're two separate. I guess they have to, because in the end. Wait, where are we at? Where do we leave off? Oh, we leave off with a Jim La, don't we?
Just about.
Yeah,
I think knowing Stephen King, they could have something to do with each other, but they don't necessarily have to at all, because he'll do that where like he just kind of latches on to a phrase or a name or something, and it repeats and it repeats and it repeats until it becomes its own entity almost.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a product of him just writing, and he's like, oh, how about this? Like, oh, hey, I like that. Let's keep using that one.
Yeah, it gets stuck in his own head.
But I just feel like I should have known Jim Ledoux a little bit. Like, I know Mike Coleslaw pretty good, and I know that's not his actual name. Vince, I don't. I mean, I sort of know Vince, but I feel like Jim. I mean, Vince wasn't in it. That Mike was in it enough for me to feel comfortable with who he is, knowing who he is.
I definitely feel the same about Vince, though, because not in this particular section of the book, but before, because him and Jake like get pretty close when they're going through Of Mice and Men. Like, he comes over and he has that breakdown, and like
Vince? I don't even remember.
Yeah.
It's been so long since we've been in 1962.
He in the previous
what
portion.
did Vince have the breakdown about?
Because my interpretation was that he was self-conscious about being as good an actor as he actually was.
I thought that was Mike.
That was Mike.
Was it? I thought that was Vince.
No, that was Mike. That was totally Mike. Because he was not going to do it, and he made him like, hey, big guy, because Mike's huge.
Yeah.
That was definitely Mike. It was not Vince.
Mike was the really good actor, not Vince.
Yes.
Oh.
No, you missed that one, huh?
Yeah, I got them confused. It has been a long time since.
Mike was the football player, actor that he thought the coach was gonna.
Yeah, it's definitely Mike. It's on page
I got them 324. So then I agree with you. We don't really know them at all.
Yeah,
we know Mike.
He's about to die, so I'm not gonna waste time with it.
Okay, well.
But Jim is still out there, and I don't know Jim, and I feel like I should have known him a little better.
I agree.
Or I would like to. Whether I should or not, I guess it's a different story. And although Vince was cracking me up when he catches him and he's like, what does he say? Do you want to get kicked out of drama club? Do you want that? No, sir. Do you, Vince? Oh, no, Mr. A, absolutely, Nitzy. Are we still going to do the jury one? Because we are. And he's like, don't you know enough to shut up when a teacher's scolding you?
You can tell he's just nervous.
He's nervous, probably a little tipsy, too.
Yeah,
They're drinking whiskey, apparently.
Straight. Not even, like, mixed with anything, just straight out of the bottle.
A pint of 5-star. Yeah, that's another one. Product placement. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of 5-star.
I don't know what
we were talking about all the research when you were incapacitated. That he had to do just to know what know to write 5-star.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
Or a bottle of cold duck from Sadie.
Because you can't just necessarily like say whatever. It has to be time relevant.
Fit, yeah. Not to mention all the Oswalds. I'm sure he had Owen do a lot of that. Like, here,
it's right.
Give you $1 million. Do some research this month.
Maybe he called up Robin.
Right? Hey, what are you doing? He's like, nothing. I'm retired. I wrote 1 book and I'm good.
That's
He's got 2, I think.
Does he have another besides the Dark Tower? That's he probably.
Well, I meant there's 2. What do they call it? Compendium? Oh.
Companions? No, concordance.
Yeah, I think there's because I have the updated one, so he's got a first one too.
You know, and I've been really struggling with whether to go to it or to Dark Tower now. I'm having a problem with that one.
I think you should do it because that's what Kirsten has been really wanting to do.
Well, Dashley wants to do Dark Tower because we keep talking about it. But
yeah, I wanted
like...
to do Dark. Personally, I wanted to do Dark Tower because I want to understand all the freaking references.
Yeah, but you almost have to do it and the Stand before you do the Tower. Like,
why?
To be honest,
I can't really answer.
As weird as it is to say, I don't think you need to read the Dark Tower before you read it. Like, even though Derry is so much of a part of Stephen King, it's not a part of the Dark Tower, really.
No, but
you're saying that they don't really make too many references in it to the Dark Tower stuff? No,
it was written before most of the Dark Tower books.
Okay, well then that's fine. We can do it next. All right, back on topic. On topic.
Where are we at? They're getting yelled at over the 5-star.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's what he said. 2011 never seemed more distant than it did then. Jake Epping never seemed so distant. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I like Jake Epping better than George fucking Anderson. I think if his name was Anderson, I would have been okay with it.
You don't like the M. I can see that.
I think the B bothers me. The Ambers.
Ambers.
You don't like the Amber?
Yeah. Now we know. Now we know the truth.
But then he says, what does he say? Jake Epping never seemed so distant. A growing tenor sax was blowing in a party-lit gym deep in the heart of Texas. I don't know if that's symbolic or literal. A sweet breeze carried it across the night. I guess it's literal. No. Drummer was laying down, an insidious off your seat and on your feet shuffle. I think that's when I decided I was never going back.
And then he just segues right into Hoochie Coochie drummer. Like, what?
Yeah, what's a Hoochie Coochie?
So colorful with his words.
I know the song, the rock and roll Hoochie Coo, but that's about all I can get to.
So weird.
The song was The Stroll. That doesn't help me.
Me either.
And I forgot I was going to cue up Glenn Miller and play that damn song. Because after this section, it's all over the place.
The Stroll?
In the Mood.
Oh, In the Mood. Yeah, yeah.
I actually know that song. I have a remix of it. And when he said that, yeah, it was
I was gonna say, is that the one it is?
Oh, I know that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. In the Mood.
I think that was in The Shining. When they were having the party at the hotel.
It's possible. Yeah.
You know, you've seen The Shining, right?
Me?
You. Yes.
Yeah.
Never.
Yes.
I know.
I was gonna say, it's been made pretty clear I haven't seen any of this stuff.
She's seen Stand By Me.
I have.
And Dolores Claiborne.
I have.
That's it, right?
Yep.
You haven't seen
the ones you gave me. No.
Oh.
Not the old one, not the new one, not the book,
nothing. Read it. She's not allowed to watch it.
Nada.
I thought she had already seen it.
No.
You have to read it so you can find everything wrong with the movie.
Oh, jeez.
It's always a joy.
Speaking of Glenn Miller, ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da, but I can't even do it. Ba-da-da, Ba-da.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Isn't that what you were saying, Amber?
Yeah, but that's not quite.
Mm-hmm.
I know. That's why I didn't know it was that song.
Ba-da-da-dee-dum. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da-dee-dum.
That's why I was like, oh, it's that song,
The
because
way
it doesn't
Lambert did
match.
it, I know that if that's definitely the song. I know. Yeah, I know that.
So I don't know
Yeah.
if it's that song, but that song is called "In the Mood" too. So it could be two different songs, but
Now we have to figure it out.
Yep. Now we have to hear it again.
get you dancing something in the mood. Na 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 na.
I mean, that's definitely like
It's
a
a swing
type
song,
song.
yeah.
Yeah.
Glenn Miller in the mood.
Yep.
I can't hear it. It's okay, I can look it up on my side. Oh yeah. Yep. In the mood.
Yeah, I
have-
totally know. I didn't realize. I had no
dubstep
idea
remix.
that's what he was talking about.
Me either, but that's helpful.
Now I'm not as annoyed because I kind of like that song.
Yeah, me too.
I'm like, okay.
It's fun, yeah.
I think it's awfully convenient that he just happened to take these dance lessons with his
not
drunken
convenient.
ex-wife.
There's no such thing as a coincidence.
Yeah, there is no coincidence.
I understand, but I'm just saying, like, in context, I'm not talking about in Stephen King world. I'm talking about just in context of the book. I'm like, how likely is that really to have happened? No.
It's Jake.
Probably not at all.
That's my point.
He really likes dancing for some reason. Like my friend, I highlighted.
Oh my
dancing
god,
is
I
what?
know.
Like, okay, but really? I mean, why are you so
I
into it?
made that same comment, like, wow, he really likes dancing. Maybe it's been too long or something.
Maybe Tabby was forcing somebody to take dancing lessons at the time
Yeah.
because he to heal his hip. And then they have their little dance-off thing, and I was that's where I started to get confused because I thought that already happened when I started reading it. Wait, I thought I already did that, but I audiobooked it. I didn't actually read it. They were doing the Bevy from the Levee and the Richie from the Ditchy version of In the Mood, or the Lindy, because the past synchronized. Even though that whole scene got erased.
What scene got
Which
erased?
Richie from the Ditchy and Bevy from the Levee. He went back to the rabbit hole. That never happened.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I thought.
That was on his first trip.
Oh yeah, I thought that was on the second one.
No, because they're the ones who tell him all about Frank Dunning.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like where he is, and yeah.
It says we necked for 5 minutes.
That's right. Yeah.
My parents did, but my parents also grew up in the 50s.
First of all, when you get married, you don't neck anything. Like, you might get a peck, right, baby?
Does that literally? Does that mean like make out?
Yeah, that's what it means.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But
I
then
was
you
like,
can
are you like rubbing necks?
I guess because all you saw was people's necks when they were doing it. Maybe I don't know.
I thought maybe it was because, like, when you're making out, sometimes you like trail down to the neck
Yeah.
and you get
that could be.
hickeys and stuff. That's what
That's
I
what
thought.
I was thinking.
That's true. Yeah.
But that's all
But I
part of
don't know
making
if
out.
That was a big status symbol in high school.
Ugh.
Say, hey, let me borrow your Hoover. I gotta get some hickeys.
Let me borrow your.
Oh, and then Sadie
She starts
stops him.
crying in the middle of them making out.
Yeah, here's something you didn't expect to hear from a married chick. I've never had sex.
Right. Oh my gosh. I was thinking.
I thought the broom was going up her ass or something. Like
Yes.
Me too. Oh my god.
I legit. Okay. Now that you said it first, I can go into this.
so you would have said it if I hadn't brought it up?
It was gonna be so much worse than it was. Like, I thought he was gay because obviously that wasn't acceptable then, and I thought he was asking her to violate him with the broom. I thought that was where that was going. And I'm like, once she finally came out and said it, I was like, really? That's the big reveal is he put a broom in between you when you slept.
No,
that was the big reveal by itself.
I think that's diminishing it because I really do, like, I felt but the emotion of what she was saying. I also do agree that I thought it was going in a different direction at first, but I'm like, I know Stephen King's not stupid. Like, he knows what people are thinking.
It's like how a germaphobe has sex, a guy.
Yeah. It's just...
Hey, what does he say? You're something ridden stinkhole? What is it? I can't remember what he said. Wait, we're not doing that yet. She doesn't tell him yet. She tells him she can't talk about it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I also really liked the phrase of just like transgressing the broom. Just, again, for like the symbolism of it.
Well, it worked for, where they end up. It's just like, now there's a broom between them.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
That whole Sadie, I'm kind of mad. First, she's like, oh, well, this can't last forever, but for now, we're good. And then, like, a month later, she's like, I can't do it anymore. Okay, well, you just said that it was okay, so make up
That's
the
pretty
Oh,
typical.
no, I can relate to that.
Yeah, I've known a lot of people. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I've probably done that too.
Can we talk about the pound cake? I love that that's what they call it.
Oh yeah, didn't they smush the pound cake that I passed up?
Eat pound cake.
Yeah.
She said, like at the very end on page 375, I'll bring a pound cake or something. Okay. That's what made me like jump to that, because I was like, oh, pound cake.
More prong burgers.
Weird.
Right. Yeah, and then but when he goes over there, they like step all over the pound cake or something.
That's why they call it that, because they never get to dessert. They end up getting a different type of dessert, and then they just start calling it pound cake.
Smushed in the passion.
But it's so like appropriate. Like, out of all the desserts that it could have been, pound cake is like so perfect. That's why I liked it.
Sponge cake wouldn't have worked for you, huh?
No, not nearly as much, because it's pound cake. Come on. I liked that. I was here for it. I thought that was fun. I was like, I'm going to use that.
Right? Hey, baby, can I have some pound?
It's just so like such an innuendo.
I lay awake a long time thinking long thoughts about time, love, and death. Okay. I think why is Jake getting so involved in personal life? He knows why he's there.
Yeah, but he's still living his life. I think that you can't help it, especially when you're a teacher.
But he's making that more important. Like, he should be knowing when to roll it back.
I think you said the keyword teacher. I think when he accepted that teaching position, it kind of like sealed that deal, making it too personal already.
He doesn't know how to like
separate.
All Stephen King's favorite people live in these little small towns, so he's getting involved in the town.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to say no. He said no twice to the second play, and then the third time, Deke. That happened, right?
Yep.
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 He
by telling him he couldn't do
tricked him into it by saying he could. Like, I mean, come on.
Yeah, you didn't see that coming from a mile away.
It's like kindergarten psychology right there. Like, oh yeah, you couldn't possibly do any better than you did last time.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just
really?
The dickhead other teacher do it, because he won't do it any good. What do you care? You're writing a book.
You're too important.
He actually isn't writing a book, but
but that's what Deke said.
Oh, that's really yeah.
I
feel like he needed something to occupy his time, or he was gonna go crazy just like waiting around.
I can agree with that. Hell, travel the country. Go to Vegas.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But
I feel like that's why he fits in with the 50s and the 60s so well, because he's so contented with just that very like mundane life. Like, that's what he enjoys. Like, he's not really into excitement, really. I feel like I really do feel like he is a boring person. Like, his dream life would be like just to like teach at that school forever and like hang out with Sadie,
eating pound cake.
And why is every druggist in every town kind of like Mr. King?
I mean, he did really kind of stick out.
Right, but there's this one. Where are we? We're in. This is Consolidated District 4. Coincident. Elderly druggist who bore an eerie but probably coincidental resemblance to Mr. Keene back in Derry winked at me. I think there's another druggist somewhere. Like, yeah, I don't get. He's very fascinated with Mr. Keene in this book, and he doesn't like him. That's for sure. I think he has some lingering hatred from it. I don't know why he's expecting Sadie to run when he's not.
But she didn't.
Now we're getting into the details. His way is the only way I know. The touching, then the broom. Like, yeah, that sounds way more ominous than.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sorry, Amber. We're gonna have to agree disagree on that one. I feel like she made it a way bigger deal. I definitely I don't want it to sound like I am undermining the how unpleasant it would be to be in a marriage like that, but like the broom was just like such a big
build up.
Yeah, but more than everything else. Like the broom isn't what would have bothered me the most out of everything that she details. Like that probably would have been what bothered me the least, because you're going to sleep. You can just roll over and fall asleep and it's fine. But like all the other stuff and being uncomfortable and not being able to have sex with my husband, I feel like that would bother me way more. But it was always like the broom. The broom
is a symbol, though. It's a symbol for all of it. Like, I think about it in the context of an abusive relationship where it's like
it could be a good symbol, but the build up made it seem like it was going to be something else.
Yeah, I don't.
But figuratively, it worked for their problems they're having. Also,
I can absolutely see that. Yeah.
Because I liked it a little bit more once they put it into context with how it symbolized what was happening between her and Jake or George, whoever you want to call him.
Mm-hmm.
Like I liked
just
it.
Don't call him Mr. Anderson.
Right. I liked it better at that point. I was like, oh, okay. Like I kind of saw the symbolism more.
Yeah, that's what I mean with Jake, not with
Yeah, but she's saying even with the first husband, there was a lot of symbolism there. Is what I thought you were saying.
I think it speaks to his controlling nature, his abusiveness.
Speaks to his OCD.
Mm-hmm.
That, I mean, I guess the two are tied together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yay, the horn's going off. Apparently the neighbor's car does that all the time. I'm never here when it happens. It's a piece of shit jalopy. Wait, didn't
jalopy?
I think I said that because we said that earlier. And it's got a car alarm on it. Why? Nobody's stealing that goddamn car. Anyway, if you're the neighbor, then kiss my ass and turn your car on. What did he say? It turned out there was quite a bit more. Only a few minutes in real time, but sometimes time is different. No one knew better than I. Yeah, time. I just thought that was cool. Time is very relative at times. Technically, it's not, but it sure seems that way. Always marches on its. So I think we need to talk about them actually having sex.
Who?
I mean, I guess if you want. Turned out there was quite a bit more.
He's all about it. When can we do it again? All right, Sadie, calm down.
That's how you know it's a male writer.
Right. Exactly. Like, oh, it was just that enjoyable. Doubtful.
I mean, maybe you guys probably tell better, but it's not really that enjoyable the first time, is it?
Are we speaking about me personally?
Okay, so maybe it is then.
No. Yeah, it's not. Like I can't speak for females as a whole, but for me personally,
I guess it depends on how much you experimented before the first time.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, for me personally, it was not the
for most
enjoyable.
Of my friends that I've talked to, it's the same. Yeah.
But
That's
thankfully,
what I'm saying.
But you gotta get past that one, and then you can be like, okay.
It's not always one. But.
Yeah, I felt like my freaking hips were breaking. I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah, and you kept doing it, huh?
Yeah. Sure did.
On 381, she says, poor. They're still high. The Claytons don't have money, not anymore, although they did once, but they're still high in Savannah society. Poor but genteel, And he's like, I didn't. Questions of who was in society and who wasn't were never big issues when I was growing up. I feel like societal status, that kind of thing, that's a Southern thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Like, makes me think of plantations and people drinking tea at the table,
Yep.
people, in the fields.
Or
like,
a rich
the
person
country
thing.
clubs and
yeah.
Because I can
Yeah.
see that in like New York too.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't ever remember in my life giving a crap about status.
No, I did. Because it like
I just like the way you said that.
because I had to like kind of put it in perspective because in my adult life, no, I've never really cared. But in high school, that was like all that mattered to me, was to be accepted. And I had to have brand name everything. I had to like, get my hair done, get my nail. Like I wanted to be.
A little bit in high school, I guess.
Yeah, in high school I did. And then once I graduated high school and I went to college, I was like, fuck everybody. I don't care what any of you people think.
You get on the ramen noodle diet and you do what you got to do.
I wasn't on the ramen noodle diet, and I still I just didn't care as much because I think for me it was the high school I grew up in. It was suburban. It was 98% white. Oh. Everybody had if you drove into it's gotten worse actually since I graduated. Like if you drive into the parking lot of the high school I went to, it's all like BMWs, Mercedes, like Hummers, it's like I went to a high school where people frequently got brand new cars. You don't buy a 16-year-old a brand new car. I don't care how rich you are. That's stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was just where I grew up. I think there was even more pressure there because I was growing up in like white suburbia where it was like, if you don't have the best of the best, it sticks out like a sore thumb because everyone else does. So it's like, and everyone points at you and is like,
I grew up in white suburbia and I never gave a shit what they were saying. But I know what you mean. I saw it all the time.
It's difficult. It's difficult to grow up in that environment and not like.
I had to buy all my own cars. That's all I know.
Conform to that. Yeah, I split
especially because nobody tells you, or maybe they do, but you just don't listen, how unimportant high school is, and you think it's the entire world when you're going through it.
I mean,
and you're the first one that ever went through it.
It is your entire world, though. Like at the time, that is your entire world. Like you don't know anything else.
What I mean is you think that that's going to be your entire world for the rest of your life. Like you think everything that happens in high school is going to be the most important thing to you for the rest of your life, and it just is so insignificant.
I don't know that I was that forward thinking. It just that was what was important right now. And that's all that mattered.
I wasn't really.
Yeah. Does that make it less important because it's not going to be forever? In the moment,
I was more present, I guess, but I've also really grown into myself and my confidence, and at that time I was just not.
Yeah.
I did not have. I mean, I went to school with a lot of people who definitely were comfortable with themselves. I was not one of those people.
I don't know if I knew any of those people.
Yeah, I think people might have been pretending.
No, some of the popular kids, like
they were pretending.
I don't know, man. I don't, because even to this day, that's still like who they are, and they're unashamed of it. And I am like totally different. Like I totally came out of my shell a lot more. Didn't let people give me as much shit as I did in high school. Like I've let people walk all over me because I was so insecure. And now, not saying that I'm not insecure now, I am. Of course, we all have insecurities, but like I'm much more comfortable in my own skin than I used to be. But anyways, okay, back to.
I was shy. took me a while to figure out how to just talk to, well, girls mostly. But then, I just started trying. Really, that's all you got to do.
But for me, like the shyness sprouted from anxiety.
Yeah.
For me personally.
Well, yeah.
Because I was scared.
All my anxiety was, oh my God, what if they say no? Oh my God, I'm never going to live that down. Yeah, but if you don't ask, they can't say yes or no. You just got, it's like a job application. 9 will say no, but all it takes is 1.
You're just gonna sit on the fence for the rest of your life.
Yeah, right. Well, apparently not, because it worked out for a while. Well, it didn't work out at first. Then it did.
Didn't work out at first. All right, so where are we?
I had to get it out, he used to say. Then the broom. You see? Like, I didn't see it all.
Yeah. Right.
She's super vague, and she's like, "You get it, right?"
Yeah,
now.
I mean, common sense.
No one understands.
Please
Please
if he was that
elaborate.
OCD, why didn't he just get another bed?
Did he just jerk himself off?
Did he beat you? Beat you with a broom handle?
What's the last exit to Brooklyn? Anybody?